Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Secrets in Medical Device Sales. We're so happy to have you back. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, yay, we're so excited. And I cannot wait for this episode. Actually, we have some really great episodes up ahead for you guys. And I'll tell you what, so Cindy and I were sitting here talking about the new year and 2025 and all these, goals that we set forward for ourselves with the podcast and at work. And we just were talking about kind of the same thing, right, Cindy? Like you and I are like, well, we need to do this, we need to do this. And what are the key traits behind this? And I'm like, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. And Cindy's like, yeah. You got to do this. And I'm like, dude, we need to talk about this on our podcast so that everybody can hear what we truly believe will bring you success.
Oh, yes. And I even had somebody reach out and was saying that she spoke with a physician who's new to medical device sales, asking the question, like, what makes women successful? Now, granted, we've kind of approached some of this, but Lisa and I are really excited because we decided to do something a little different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the same, but different, right? So we are just compiling multiple episodes into one goal. So what do I mean by that? So we are going to do a series and it's going to be 10 episodes today, starting with the first one. And the series that we're introducing is called 10 Secret Power Plays for Sales Success. And then today we'll start with the first power play. Okay, so Lisa, I do have to laugh because power play, just the word sounds great, but how do we come up with this? And I don't know, is anybody ice hockey fans out there?
My brothers are. My brothers love ice hockey. And here's what's really sad, you guys. I totally, just like football, and I married a football player, I don't know crap about ice hockey. So Cindy's like, do you know what a power play is? I'm like, I've heard of the term. I don't know. So I had to Google it. You guys, I had to Google it. But it's where one team has an advantage over the other team, right, Cindy?
Absolutely.
It's like a penalty or something like that. So you got like
they'll be in the penalty box. So then you get an extra man on ice. So then you only have like 2 minutes where you get to do it. And what I love about that is you think about if you're watching an ice hockey game and then you've got a 2-minute power play, what happens? It's like the whole team focuses. There's this energy. They get to know that, we've got one more player on the ice. And it's like they become hyper focused, right? So how do we take that 2-minute power play in one of the periods of an ice hockey game and put it into sales?
I love that.
And so as high performers, you're striving each day for high impact, correct?
Yeah.
So we're excited. We are just calling this our 10 Secret Power Plays.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really excited because so that means that you guys have to tune in for the next 10 episodes at least so that you don't miss. Yeah. You don't miss these because these are so important. And like literally as we went through them, I'm like, ooh, yeah. So I can't wait. And the first one, you guys, is strong work ethic.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Strong work ethic.
Woo-hoo. And here's something funny. I'm like, well, what does it mean to not have strong work ethic? Because I truthfully, Cindy just like totally choked on her drink. But like legit, I don't even know what that means because my entire life I've worked. And I'm pretty sure I have a pretty strong work ethic because I truly believe that if you're not putting your all into something, what's the point of doing it anyhow? And like, if I'm going to do something, man, I'm going to do it till it hurts, right? I mean, you and I both you did the full Ironman. I did the half Ironman. I'm a little bit of a weenie, but the truth is the training for that is super hard. It is really hard. You got to have a strong work ethic and you got to have what we're going to reveal is the secret to attaining this strong work ethic. You got to have this, you guys, because if you don't have it, and you don't believe in it, you're not going to achieve your ultimate sales success. You just won't. It will not happen for you.
So if you're looking to achieve results, because that's really everything I think you just said, when you've got a result in mind, you get out of it what you put into it. You can't expect to do something that's not there. So we were thinking like, when we think about strong work ethic, like, why are we talking about this? So if any of you out there are feeling like, maybe you're not motivated, okay? Or maybe you're somebody who has this goal and you kind of think maybe you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not really productive. Or maybe some of you out there procrastinate. Not that procrastination can't get done, because there are some people who do great by that. But then if you procrastinate so long, are you missing on that moment? When you're prepared and you've practiced, back to the power play. Let's think ice hockey, okay? None of those professional players are spending the week sitting around doing nothing. They're practicing. Then it's game day. And then even in game day, it's more exciting when you get a 2-minute power play. And now you've got an advantage. So all that you know, all that you learn, you put it together in that moment.
Yes. All right. So are we going to reveal our secret yet or are we waiting? I don't even know what we're doing. Are we waiting?
Let's see. Let's wait just a second
Okay.
because we've already said like what we're trying to go for, right? And
Yeah.
we're
Yeah. Yeah.
we're trying to address some of the problems, of
Yeah.
course, that we
True.
mentioned, lack of productivity,
Yeah.
quality of work. But
And
how about why
yeah.
don't you give us a good definition of work ethic and then we'll
Okay.
go into our secret.
Okay. But I was going to say, I said, I'm like, I don't even know what non-strong work ethic. But the truth is I do. I mean, I do. I say I do everything to the X extent. And if you ask my husband, he's like, she's a maniac. But the truth is there are some things that I'm like, about, but not when I really am looking for a result. So I looked this up because truth be told, Cindy, I actually didn't know what work ethic was defined like. I don't know what the definition is. I just know what it means to me.
Or
So
like how to say it, you mean? Like how to
yeah,
actually just spell it out?
yeah. So I looked it up and I typed in, you guys, a simple work ethic definition. Okay. So the work ethic definition is simply a personal set of values that determines how an employee approaches their work. Employees with strong work ethics are highly motivated and produce consistent, high quality results. A good work ethic can be taught as long as more productive behaviors are clearly demonstrated. So that kind of to me says, this is like a habit, right? It's habit forming. The more you do it, the more you practice it, the better you get at it, probably the better results you achieve. And then once you get those results, you're like, ooh, that was nice. I want to do that again. I want to go to the next round. It's like the power play moment if the goalie gets pulled, which I don't even know if that's really a power play, but
They do that at
anyhow,
the end of the
it's like
game
I'm
if they're
hitting
down.
that puck right into the goal every single dang time because I want that goal. I want to see that number tick up one because that to me shows success. So I think that's, for me anyhow, that's what a good, strong work ethic means.
I like that definition, actually. I actually like that you kind of spell it out there because all of those things that you said, we're going to really dive into this some, but I think it's time to reveal our secret.
Okay. You go.
Okay.
You go.
All right. So we believe that the secret to a strong work ethic is discipline. And so we're going to dive a little bit more into that discipline.
Yeah.
And what is discipline? Okay, I'm not looking this up, but it's pretty much something you do every single day. And think about it. Tell me there's times you wake up in the morning and you're not motivated, or you don't want to get out of bed. Or like we just
100%.
recently had snow and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so cold and I don't want to go out there and I don't want to scrape off my car and I don't want to go out cold. But say if I'm somebody who's disciplined and every morning got to get up and go to the gym, and as long as the roads are clear and they're not closed for snow, if the gym's open and your time slot is on there, you get up and go. Now, I'm not maybe as motivated to get out there in the cold, but I'm disciplined to go. So what do?
Bingo.
I get up, and that's the difference. When you have discipline, you're not always motivated. You're going to have days you're not motivated, but the discipline is you're going to do the act anyway. By doing the act, you get into the habit, and then you become proficient.
Well, and let me tell you, listen, guys, I mean, I know that every single one of you out there probably has in mind a goal that you want to achieve or somebody that you look up to and you want to be like, or you want to live that lifestyle or that life or whatever it is that drives you. You do not get that easily. It just doesn't come easy. And there are those days, like you just mentioned, Cindy, snow is a perfect example. I'm thinking about the other morning when I got up and it was frigid here. I think it was like 38 or 39 degrees, felt like it was like 28 degrees and it was raining. And girl, I got up and went for a run. And I know it wasn't like pouring down rain, but it was sprinkling. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it might start snowing. But like, I didn't want to do it. I was cold as crap. It took me 3 miles to warm up, but I'm like, I got to do it because I know the next 3 days of my life are going to be so hectic. I'm not going to get out and be able to exercise. So therefore I'm going to have to suck it up and go do it. And when I was done, I was so happy that I got it done. Now that's an easy example, but the truth is that it takes discipline. So that is our secret. And I think
it takes discipline if you're a true Floridian and 28 is cold.
I know, right?
Out there that are like running in 16-degree weather. How do you do it? You layer up, you're putting on your ski mask, which I look silly when I run a ski mask, but it works.
I know.
Discipline. It gets you there.
Yeah. So we're talking about some of these things that get you to that strong work ethic, the discipline, the resilience. I mean, you got to have good integrity in order to know that you're doing something well in your work. So that is also really important in work. How do we build a strong work ethic?
So number one, we're going to start with something that was our first episode of the New Year's, and it's setting clear goals. I think, again, it always takes a moment to talk about personal goals and professional goals. I'm a true believer that when you have personal goals that align with your professional, you're more motivated, hashtag that is with discipline, to achieve your
I love that.
professional sales goals.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're just throwing stuff at the wall to see if it sticks, good luck to you. But setting clear goals, know what you're going after. So again, that eliminates a lot of spinning your wheels. If you know where you need to go and what you need to say, if you think ahead, it's done. And you're not
Yeah.
just randomly walking in wondering, I said this at the beginning, like if you're somebody who's just struggling with, why am I not really achieving? Maybe you're somebody
Mm.
who's going to see your customers. Maybe you're out there, but if you're not being intentional and clear with your goals, then maybe your conversations aren't where they need to be. This is a perfect time to step back as we're peeling back how to have strong work ethic and take a look in the mirror. Be a little
Yeah.
bit aware of what your actions truly are, not what your mind is saying you're doing. Take a good look at what are you really, really doing. Set those clear goals and decide, am I aligned with my goals or not?
Well, I love that. You're exactly right. It goes back to the example that I just gave. My goal was I need to run because for the next 3 days, I'm not going to be able to run. I might be eating crappy on the road or whatever it is, which I usually don't. But so my
I
goal
do.
is, my goal is that I have to run because I know that my body needs that in order to maintain what I want to maintain in terms of my physical condition and my mental state, by the way. So that's a goal for me. Did it get me out of bed? Hell yeah, it did. Did I want to go out and run? Hell no, I didn't. But I did it anyhow. And so I think you're right, Cindy, setting those goals, making them clear, making them achievable. We talked about this in another episode, and make them align personally and professionally. That will set you up for good, strong work ethic.
Absolutely. And something else, just when you said that, it just to expand, where discipline helps is it eliminates the excuses. You
Yeah.
could have made every excuse that 38 is cold if you're in Florida. But it's true. It just helps eliminate excuses. Okay. So number one was setting clear goals. Number two for building a strong work ethic is time management.
That's like your favorite word in the whole world, I swear.
Love
Not mine.
managing time.
Not
You
mine.
know, you guys might laugh. You want a little quick view into my morning when I'm sitting there looking at everything I'm doing? I literally open my phone and look at what time are all my conference calls. I put alarms in my phone to know which time they are. I'm checking my calendar when there's appointments, when's this. And then I'm like, okay, if I have somewhere to be at 9, I'll look at the calendar. I do everything backwards. All right, I got 15 minutes to do this. I set timers on my watch so I'm done. I do. I mean, I love my Apple Watch and I literally just hit to the side and I tell it, set alarm for 15 minutes. I do what I need to. I move to the other because if I don't just time block and bang out the most important things in the morning, this is also kind of giving you an example of a more like office day kind of start with your day. But then if you're putting in appointments in there, that's different.
Yeah.
I also look at my week. So if I know I've got cases to get to early in the morning, certain days, when am I going to be driving? When do I need to do office work? When do I need to be taking care of inventory? When do I need to be planning this case? Have I spoke with the physicians? Have I spoke with the hospital? Have I got all of my I's dotted and my T's crossed? But time management is key to getting everything done.
Well, and you know what all this boils down to? Accountability. It's keeping you accountable. Your time management appointments on your watch, in your phone, the ringing of the alarms, that's accountability. It's reminding you, saying, ding, 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 Cindy, you have to do XYZ on this day at this time in order to achieve your goals.
I think
it's that simple.
You're right. But I think when we talk about time management, I think if you don't prioritize,
oh yeah,
then you're never really going to be
Good
where
point.
you need to be. So time management helps you prioritize. One little thing, and I think I've mentioned this before, is you look at the top 3 things that need to be done each day, put them in the morning, and then all the other busy stuff sets aside. So time management will really help you stay in line in building a strong work ethic.
I like that. All right. The next one after setting clear goals and time management is consistency. And this is something I love to preach. I mean, it's all about discipline. It's all about that habit forming. You have to be consistent day in and day out. And that boils down to the very basics of if you're going to run or work out in the morning or your gratitude journal, you do it every single morning. You get that done. Then what is your next goal? If it is you need to meet with this customer and you need to knock these guys out in this week, you need to be consistent in making sure that you're doing everything you've set out to do, and you need to do it consistently. You know, you don't just visit a doctor one day in 1 week and then you wait 3 months and you go back and see him again. No, that doesn't work. And we talked about this in another episode. You have to be consistent. You got to have a plan of action, which is the setting of goals. You need to be smart in your time management. And now you need to be consistent in how you're going to do this. It's not just once and done. It's over and over and over again. It's like forming a habit. But it's really what creates that strong work ethic. And it's what will be results driven in the end.
You are so good at consistency. And that's something that, I've known you for over 6 years now, and I've watched you in consistency. And you know what consistency builds is momentum. And what better thing do we need in sales to drive but momentum?
Yeah.
And when you put all these pieces together, it really, really makes a difference. So actually, I think you are definitely just an actionable example of somebody who's very consistent.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. The last one is kind of along with what we've been talking about, but the self-discipline, right? And it kind of all boils down to self-discipline. But what are we talking about? Well, you can look at this like techniques for staying motivated and accountable and consistent and all of this. I mean, for me, I truly am thinking about my end goals. And those end goals are different for every single customer, every single account, and the buckets that I need to hit for work. I mean, I'm constantly thinking about that. I'm like, okay, I got 3 cases with Dr. Smith this week. That's going to do this. I need 2 cases with Dr. Parks. You need 10 cases with Dr. Miller. Whatever that is, I'm staying motivated and accountable by in my head going through every week, every doc, every customer, and disciplining myself to make sure I'm checking those off so that I'm hitting what I need to hit in order to get where I want to get to.
You just said something, and it kind of reminds me, like, this is a flashback story of mine. So I worked in a previous role. It was a lot of, what am I trying to say? Not distributor stuff. I was not working for a distributor, but commodity. Okay. So I had a hospital system, and it's consisted of 12 hospitals. And when I started in this role, they did not use my product. And so what did I do? I went in and I did all the normal sales things you do when you start. You start targeting, get to know the people, you get to find the people, and there was a lot of discouragement along the way. Some people didn't even want to talk. Some people said they disliked the rep before me. I'm not going to talk to you about that product. That makes me think of so-and-so. Okay, well, he's gone now. So then you have to take the time. It's going back and getting them to know me and getting them to like me and getting them to hear what I have to say. So it was a lot of time of first erasing the bad taste they had in their mouth. Then we have to start from scratch. Okay, do I feel motivated to go back to somebody who doesn't want to see me? The answer is no. Do I have to be creative and find a way to get back in front of them? The answer is yes. That's an example of work ethic. That's an example of the discipline of going back and going back. And then, like any long sales cycle, I slowly started chipping away at my goal of being able to be in there. And I made really, really great relationships along the way, not seeing one sale, not seeing one result. At the end of the 3rd year, it finally went to committee. I got to actually go, this was one of those hospital systems that allow reps to go present to like their whole VAC committee. And it was a table of 12 people. And I had gone there like 2 years before. They were like, oh, we'll take it there. It was just, I think they were trying to go through the motions. Well, when I went back the next time, which was 2 years later, I had an army of physicians behind me. I had all the support I needed. I kept going back and building more, and I got to present. And the first time in 3 years of me working there and 20 years with my previous company, we got the product in. And I'm just tell that because if you just stick to doing what you're supposed to be doing, even when they don't want to see you, find creative ways to be seen, creative ways to be heard differently, and you can have amazing results. And that is absolutely only due to having a strong work ethic.
I love that story. I think also what totally resonates throughout that entire story is the fact that it didn't come easy. We're not saying that this comes easy, guys. We're not saying that you're going to wake up one day because you're disciplined and you got yourself out of bed and you did your check marks and all of a sudden you're just going to be super successful. Nope, doesn't look like that. A strong work ethic means you get up day in and day out, week after week, month after month, year after year for you, Cindy. And it took you 3 years to win that account over. And I'm probably sure it was a massive account and a massive win. But the point is, guys, we're not saying that you're going to do this overnight. You got to understand that a strong work ethic takes practice and it takes commitment and it takes discipline. But I promise you, if you continue to be and have a strong work ethic, you will get the results that you strive for, that you are gunning for. You will get them. but you can't give up, and you can't allow somebody like what they said to you, Cindy. Well, we don't like you because we don't like the last rep. Okay, well, I'm not the last rep. So sorry, but I'm still going to come back. You didn't give up. And you know what? That was a fantastic story. And that's also about talking about overcoming the obstacles that you are going to hit, guys, because you will hit them. You are going to hit roadblocks, and you have to be able to say, nope, here's my goals. This was what I blocked out for my time. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to make this a strong work ethic, mantra every day. I'm going to get up and say, this is what I'm doing because I want success.
I love that. And I just want to give a little bit of examples of that to put that in perspective for you all. So, okay, what Lisa said is absolutely right. So what are some obstacles? Let's say this one word, life. I mean, come on, how many times?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I've got to go do this. And you're like, oh my gosh, well now the kids are sick, or, oh my gosh, I just broke my foot. I don't know. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be
I tore my ACL repair. I tore my ACL. Remember that? That was a
yes,
bad
when you were
setback, by the way.
skiing.
I don't know why I just brought that up. Sorry, that was a squirrel moment.
But it's true. That's an obstacle, right? Like say you said, well, I'm going to think about it. All right, Lisa, let's say you came back from your ski trip. You had a meeting planned on Monday. Well, you ended up having surgery. Okay.
Dude, I had cases. Cases. I was like, holy crap, what am I going to do now? Like legit, I had to stay an extra week in Vail to get my ACL repaired by a friend of my dad's. And I am on the bed in pre-op, literally calling my clinicals, being like, guys, I'm not coming back for another week. Poor me. I know I was in Vail, but literally it was so bad. It was so painful. Don't ever tear your ACL. But I mean, I was in that bed planning, but I was not going to let that defeat me, Cindy. No freaking way was I going to let my doctors be without their support and let any sales slide. I mean, that's just no way. My manager was like, it's okay, Lise, take your time. I'm like, hell no, I'm coming back. I can't afford to do this. I can't drive for 2 weeks. I'm going to have my husband drive me.
but that is so funny too. Chauffeur, it's like driving Miss Daisy, driving Miss Lisa to her cases. You overcame that obstacle. How? You leaned on your network, your coworkers. Sometimes we need to ask for help. Sometimes we need to do it. But the point is, you didn't just because you didn't get to that case and you didn't get to that meeting, you didn't just stop. Like 2 weeks later, you're not like, well, yeah, I tore my ACL, so forget that account. I guess I'll just focus on my old stuff. Like, no, it can continue. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be setbacks, but stay focused on your goal. And when you, again, like we've said a million other times, when you have a strong reason why you're doing something, you don't give up,
Yeah. No, I love that. You're right. And I didn't. And I mean, honestly, the thought of losing any cases to my competitors makes me want to vomit in my mouth. So that's just not something that's ever going to happen. I think really, Cindy, this impact of having a strong work ethic by far is going to help you and keep you in that moment of success. It helps you stay in the moment of success, right? If you let off the gas pedal, I really feel like you're allowing people to creep in, you're allowing your competition to creep in. And it actually is reminding me of a episode that we did not that long ago. As we're closing out here, you guys, there is an episode that if you didn't listen to it, you must listen to it. It was a episode done with Patricia Choquette, who actually works with our company. And one of the things that she said, and I know you remember this, Cindy, is she said, outworking your competition. Guess what that is? Having a strong work ethic. You can't outwork somebody if you don't have a strong work ethic.
And you know what else that is? That's a power play.
Absolutely.
You've got an advantage over your competitor.
Yeah.
You're stronger, you're better, you're there. I mean, that's exactly right. Yeah. It's your power play, outwork your competition. And then you're there. You already have the advantage to outwork them when you have a strong work ethic.
Yeah. So I think today what we talked about is so imperative to becoming a high performing sales rep, medical sales rep, whatever you're doing. Strong work ethic is a power play. You have to have that in your armamentarium to be successful long term, to get the goals that you're setting out for yourself, to achieve them, to blow by them and make new goals. But you have to have a strong work ethic. You can't sit back and say it's going to come. It's not. You got to work hard for it. You got to outwork that competition like we just talked about. You got to have the motivation. You have to have the discipline in order to achieve that strong work ethic, because there are going to be times that are going to be tough. But if you push forward, you push yourself out of bed, you're going to make it happen.
So I'm going to leave this with the audience out there listening. I want every one of you to think of an account. Where can you put yourself in a 2-minute power play? Where you're going to hyper focus, where you're going to high perform, where you're going to feel that momentum, whether you've got your coworkers at your side or you've just got a plan in place take our secret to a strong work ethic, which is discipline, and go ahead, shoot us a DM. Let us know what is going to be your power play. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful, successful sales week.